Brrraaains A Head-Banging Life here. We are doing our top 10 EPs of 2019. Well, that's my top 10 and your top 10 EPs of 2019. Part of the lists that we're now doing across the site. There's a lot of stuff to love about this year, be it albums, EPs, live shows, you name it, we're covering it. So EPs. Yeah, when I looked at the, so throughout the year kind of formulated a list that was to kind of keep track of scores. And whereas, like, I was surprised by how, not small, but, like, the 10 out of 10s and word EPs compared to, say, like, elsewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't struggle to put 10 together, don't get me wrong, but I think I would have struggled to go much further than 10.
Oh, yeah.
We covered a lot of EPs, so it wasn't that there wasn't a long list to select from.
You're just making this list, yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's certainly not odd. That's the wrong word, but it's not. When I put it together, I was like, wow, I'd forgotten about a lot of these.
Yeah,
and it was that kind of rereading my review and thinking, okay, and then sometimes pressing play and going, let me just remind myself of what this was. Oh yeah, okay, cool. You know.
Yeah.
So we'll basically alternate. Start with 10, work our way down to number 1 until we get to our favourite EP of 2019. Would you like to start with your number 10?
I'll go for it.
Go on.
All right, so my number 10 is the EP The War Within by Drop Oblivion.
Okay.
It was the second of 2 EPs that came out way back, very, very early part of January. And this was, although I like both, this was the one I liked the best.
This was the second one, wasn't it?
This was the second one, yeah. And it kind of, self-release stuff. A guy, I think if I remember correctly, his name's Ian Mortimer. Okay. So it's a one-man kind of project. And this one was very, very heavily focused on like mental health and stuff like that. Only had like, I think 4 or 5 tracks on it in total. And it was, I remember thinking about it was a bit strange in that the first 4 tracks of the 5-track EP, if it was, were like about 1.5 to 2 minutes long. Quite little, short, kind of in your face, kind of heavy ones. And then the last track was like the complete opposite. It was about like 8-9 minutes long, really kind of long, windy.
I remember.
Ends with a few minutes long, a long solo, which is really contemplative. And I remember it was very, very good. Really had a lot of impact, that EP. I listened to that for a long time. And while I liked the first one, I never really went back to the first one again, but I did go back to this one. So yeah, so that's my number 10.
There you go. Drop Oblivion didn't make my top 10, unfortunately. My first one then, number 10, is Modern Technology, self-titled Modern Technology EP, self-released. It was actually released on January 7th, 2019, so quite early on in the year. And I describe it best as listen to it feels dangerous. Their crude, visceral, and uncomfortable brand of noise is likely to leave the mind in a pile of mush. I this year overall has been a great year for me for noise rock. That kind of style of music, something I never really thought I'd enjoy, but a lot of bands have come out of the woodwork this year, be it with drone, noise rock, that mix, amalgamation of that mess almost, and I found myself really enjoying a lot of it. But on top of that pile, I found Modern Technology, a very local band as well, Londoners, have really, really impressed the most. Yeah, that's my number 10.
Fair play.
Yeah.
I haven't actually listened to that one.
Okay.
The minute you stop talking about noise rock and all that sort of stuff, I have to admit, like a little kind of creepy shiver goes down my spine.
yeah. You hate your messing of genres, and this is a messy one.
Noise rock, compared to the other rock, doesn't make any noises whatsoever. Or like silent rock. Yeah. It's all fucking noise. Anyway, number 9. Right, I'm going to write what I wrote because basically I feel a bit guilty putting this in the list.
Oh really?
And it's Underworld by Soilwork. And the reason I feel a little bit guilty about this, right, is really 6th of June. Yeah. Is that it's kind of like a collection of rarities that kind of partly, I think, if you bought like the I don't know, the modern version of whatever Digipack is these days,
the deluxe edition.
Yeah, like whatever it is, you got a few of these tracks anyway.
Yeah.
So, and then they released it in June, but I kind of felt like I had to put it in because I found my favourite ever Soilwork song on that EP in this Master's Tale. And that EP made me then, because it had other versions of like Needles and Kin and stuff like that, made me go back and listen to the Verkaleiten again. Yeah. And then reignited my love for that album, which was, so talking June now, for the album Verkaleiten. I think it came out in January, didn't it?
It did. It was very
so
early.
Like, you look at it from Soilwork's perspective, or whoever it is, Nuclear Blast or whatever, that like it's such a, exactly everything they would have meant that EP to do worked perfectly. Which is reignite the album in June. And like, so releasing an EP and bringing people back to Verkaleiten 6 months after Verkaleiten came out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just, part of me was like, oh, you can't put this in here. It's not a original independent piece of work. But on the other side of it, it's like, yeah, but hang on, that I was listening to In This Master's Tale on the way here. You know, not by random shuffle because I chose to listen to it because it became my favourite, and still is today, my favourite Soilwork song. So.
I remember, where were we driving to? Was it, we might have been driving
I think we were going to Colchester, weren't we?
Yeah,
to see Metal to the
Masses. And that's when you first played it to me there. I wouldn't have thought it was cheating because regardless of whether it's bonus tracks on a deluxe edition, it was released as an EP.
Yeah.
But not on my top 10. In fact, didn't even come into my head. But that's there, you know. But it's not that I don't enjoy Soilwork.
No one's perfect, mate. No one's perfect.
My number 9 is Ole English, self-titled Ole English, self-released, released on August 23rd, 2019. They make a booze salt splash on this self-titled EP. It's basically rock and roll, plenty of groove. Really, really caught my attention. I like rock and roll. I like that kind of hyper, driving fast, good boy, good time rock and roll. Marginally, I'd say. But I rarely hear anything that makes me go, oh, that's really fucking good. Ole English's was. Yeah. There you go. Cool. Simple as that.
So my number 8
is
Democritus's new EP.
Just missed out on my top 10.
Damnation.
Yep.
Which come out on the 20th of December. Haven't had a whole lot of time with this one.
Yep.
I think it's good. I think it's a very, very strong EP.
Yeah.
There's not really much to say about it. I think it's their best work to date.
Definitely,
I think it shows that the band have moved on. So strong.
And if you want to know a little bit more, go check out a reaction video we did for BTK, Bind, Torture, Kill, and you'll also see a comment from the frontman singer Steve Jenkins from there, who actually explains, because we discussed in that reaction video whether or not how relations was to an actual killer. And we were right.
And I also have been very heavily educated by my wife as to who BTK was.
Oh, of course.
Who's a serial killer aficionado.
Oh, unlucky.
So she was like, I think she said something to me like, have you never heard of fucking BTK? That's my impression.
It's not bad. I heard it.
I don't fucking know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Right, my number 8 comes from Clint. That's Klynt, and This Is Revenge, self-released, released on June 5th, 2019, and it's thrash metal effectively, but there's a power edge to it as well. It's something they do really, really well. It's the kind of straightforward head-banging, fist-pumping, good old, not old-fashioned thrash metal, because I don't want you to start picturing Slayer from the 80s and Testament and stuff like that. No, it's modern stuff like that. But it's got that thrash speed metal edge to it. Yeah, really, really good release.
Good stuff. My number 7 is Alpha Kings by Goat Monsoon, which is another December one. Good time to release stuff early December for an end of year list as well. I think so. You know, it's got to be plenty of play. It is what it is. I quite like Goat Monsoon in that it almost sounds like an insult, and I don't mean it in any way, but it's simple music. It's simplistic to listen to. You know, they're not trying to be overly clever. They just make like big, heavy riffs and just kind of hit you with riffs. And but I like the EP a lot. I thought having seen them play a couple of times live, I think they capture that quite well on their recordings.
Yep.
You know, which so you kind of like see yourself back there watching them. So yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, it's good. It is good EP. I do like it as well. So it came very last minute, one of the last releases of 2019 that was reviewed for the site, really.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, not quite my top 10 though. Number 7, Ashen Horde, Tint Regan by Mandel Records, released on December 15th, 2019. Ashen Horde is a band I'm actually familiar with. We've covered their music in the past, so this wasn't a massive surprise. And I think if I remember, it's 3 tracks long. Maybe we're getting that one wrong, actually. But it's Black and Death Fury, basically. It's savage, lovely, refined, great, heavy as fuck metal. That beautiful combination. It's something that comes up more and more, particularly this year, that where people describe themselves as black and death metal. And it's like, what does that even mean? And it's like, okay, well, when you listen to this, I think you get it across. It's that, clearly it's death metal, but you have that black metal edge to it, be it within the vocals, or be it certain rhythms and stuff like that, you know? Ashen Horde, they're ones that exemplify it. And this EP, if you need a sort of stepping stone, a way to get into them, this is the EP to get into them. It's my number 7 of the year. Yeah.
Cool. Number 6, I've gone for Grief Ritual.
Oh!
Moments of Suffering.
Banging.
Yeah, it was really good. It's not too long ago it was released either. It was 25th of October. I listened to this quite a bit actually. I really just think it's extremely clever.
Yeah,
like really clever. There's a lot going on. It's quite expansive.
Mm-hmm.
I found it quite unpredictable to listen to. It's very very heavy, but like it's not like just heaviness for the sake of heaviness. I thought like there are moments of melody. There's little bits that kind of suck you in, and then it explodes with rage, and so just found it really really good to listen to. Really interesting. Really well put together, man.
I agree. I'm not going to say anything. I will get to my thoughts a little bit later on. Number 6. Mine is Duskwood. That was Grief Rituals number 6, right?
Grief Rituals number 6, yeah.
Cool. Number 6 for me, Duskwood, The Long Dark, self-released. More self-releasing these, man. Released on April 20th, 2019, The Long Dark combines the familiar fuzzy sounds of desert and stoner rock with spacey sci-fi elements, resulting in a really memorable listening. That's my words from the review. But yeah, it's a great combination of that. I love a bit of desert and stoner rock. Do it right. It can be great fun. Yeah.
Yes, he does.
But I also really, really like progressive, proggy, spacey, sci-fi elements.
Yes, he does.
Combine the two and you get The Long Dark. So yeah, well worth checking out for that, I think, if you're interested by what I've just said.
Number 5.
Yeah.
I won't say too much on this one because my number 5 is Ashen Horde's Tintrigan.
Fantastic.
You reviewed it early December, and I remember I've been travelling to Ireland a lot, so I was like basically downloading things that were coming out around like the right time to listen to at airports and on planes and that. And so this one for about a week's journey back and forth was pretty much all I exclusively listened to.
Oh wow!
I really really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So I won't say an awful lot more than you said. I really really enjoyed the fact that it's just so fucking heavy.
Yeah.
I love, like you said, I like things to be expansive. I do. I like melody. I like all that stuff. But it's nice as well sometimes to just have a blast of absolute kind of aggression and fury.
Yeah. And
then those little tiny atmospheric-y kind of black metal moments in it that just enhance it rather than. So yeah, agree with you. It's the epitome of what I would describe Black and Death as being.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Perfect.
Here we go.
My number 5 is Necronomichrist, and it's called Necronomichrist by Ninth Order Productions. It was released on January 1st, 2019. So well done to this EP, getting all the way through the year to here. It's top-notch technical death metal, full to the brim with brutality, but not without a few surprises too. So yeah, basically it's tech death metal, as I said, and that's the biggest takeaway you get from this. If that's your jam, death metal, and you love that extra bit of guitar swing and punch that comes with tech, done right, the number 5th EP of the year, this is a great example of it. You hear Necronomichrist and you're naturally probably going to think black metal. And you might find the odd bit of elements in this, but it's certainly not its focus. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Number 4,
Mm-hmm.
Master's Call, Morbid Black Trinity. So 25th of January release. Someone's forgotten an EP.
Oh, that's frustrating.
Yeah, you can give it a special guest slot at the end.
Yes.
But and I know you did as well. But it's a banging EP.
Yeah.
Another one from January, and there's a few from kind of early days actually that have made it into this list, and they've stayed. And that's the great thing about it. But this is just it's great. It's just really really good black metal, man. It made Master's Call one of our most exciting watches at Bloodstock.
Yeah.
And, they lived up to it all.
I'll
say for it, it's just really really good strong black metal.
I can't believe I left this off the list. I can't understand. It wasn't.
It would have been in your 10, wouldn't it?
It would have been, probably could have even been top 3 for sure. I won't. Well, I'm not going to change it now. My list is done. It is what it is. But I want to add to say that that EP is fucking incredible. Had I remembered to put it in here, people go, "Oh well, if you don't remember, it wasn't that good." Are you kidding me? We literally reviewed something like nearly 700 albums and EPs this year. But Master's Call will pop up in another list, so I'll give them the shout there. But it's fantastic EP. You're absolutely right. My number 4. Now I'm over that disappointment. Voices of Grief, self-titled Voices of Grief, out via MSH Music Group. Was released on April 20th, 2019, and it's a black metal EP. Black metal in all the right ways. Exemplifies what the end times might sound like. It's one part ritualistic evil melody, one part slow doom heaviness, all wrapped up in blackened death metal ribbon. Yeah, this is a banger. I remember this one come on my way and being a bit like, all right, well, you know, don't really know that kind of thing, and just like, yeah, this is fucking great. This is one I still listen to now. Yeah.
Yep. Cool. Number 3.
Top 3.
Right, so third place,
Yeah.
bronze medal.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing. Call of the Void by Ingested.
Okay.
I just thought it was brilliant, man.
Yeah.
It's basically like 4 tracks, but they're really track 1 and track 4 are like they're not meant to be, I don't think, but they feel like an intro and an outro to the 2 kind of double header in the middle, which are both called like Eternal Kingdom Part 1 and Part 2.
Part 2, yeah.
And those 2 tracks are just fucking unbelievable, man. It's just one hell of an experience. It's every different style you can imagine all just combined together to just make some other just amazing music. Amazing stuff.
Yeah.
And so it does become, I don't know if that's a bad thing or not, become so much about those 2 tracks that I end up kind of seeing like track 1's to get me get me ready for Eternal Kingdom. Then 2 and 3 is like, you know, basking in the heaven of it, and then track 4's to kind of bring you back down.
Out, yeah. I'm sure they'd be happy enough to if they've had that impression, you know.
Yeah, should do. It's a brilliant AP, fantastic.
Right, my number 3 is one that's already been mentioned. My number 3 is Grief Rituals, Moments of Suffering, self-release. As Brendan already said, it was released on October 25th. The one thing I would add to what Brendan said, because he pretty much summed it up, this was I don't want to say a surprise, but I didn't expect it to be this good.
I was surprised.
Yeah?
I'll be honest with you. I didn't know an awful lot about the band. I listened to it, you know, just one of those things where I'm going through the new releases and I'm like, I like that. Just listen to things, and then sometimes you're just like, wow,
yeah,
really, that fucking good that is. I'll review it. Oh no, Cole already has.
Yeah. if I was ranking this for intensity, this would be number 1.
Yeah.
Okay, number 2.
You've already done my number 2 further down your list, but my number 2 is Necronomichrist.
Oh, cool.
By Necronomichrist.
Hey.
Just because I'm stubborn like that, I didn't mention anything about the technical aspect of it. Just because I don't, words like technical and progressive and that bring me out in rashes, don't they? But you know, I just same as I didn't know anything really about this band, about anything of this until I started writing up on it, and I remember being surprised that like they weren't a new band for a start.
Yeah.
But it had just been like, I don't know, best part of a decade since they'd like released anything, and then it's kind of dropped out of the blue, and everyone was like very surprised by it. And it was like, yeah, I was blown away by it, man. It's just really, really heavy. And while I avoided the word technical at any point in the review and the write-up that I did on it, I did mention things about the little diversions into melody, little slowdowns, a little bit of sampling and clever guitar lines.
Yeah. There you go. That's it.
Punctuate the heaviness.
Right, my number 2. Unburnt, Arcane Evolution. Self-released again. Released on August 16th, 2019. It's a bone-rattling, head-spinning slice of black and death metal. EPs have got a lot of that this year. I think they nailed the balance of black and death perfectly. Sometimes it's pure, fiery savage on show. Other times it's that icy kind of old-school black metal you think from the Scandinavian countries and so on. But it's fantastic. Probably it is the best death metal release of the EP side of things, like that side, more than anything else, because my number 1 isn't a death metal or black and death or anything like that. So it can proudly be ranked as number 1 of the black and death, the death metal side of things. But yeah, Unburnt Arcane Evolution is my second best EP of 2019.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Right, number 1.
Number 1, gold medal. So my number 1 is Desolate by Earthbound.
Oh, wow.
Which was released back in October, 11th of October. A band that we know quite well.
Yep.
And it's the second EP that they've released. The first one, I believe, was called Endure. And I really liked the first one, but it had, like, faults. You know, it had amateur edges to it. Mm-hmm. Sometimes the vocal sounded a bit off, you know, that sort of thing. So when I listened to Desolate, one of the things that blew me away by it most was the progression from Endure to this EP, and how fucking professional it sounds. How none of those little amateur moments, like it's a completely different fucking band.
Right.
It is so well put together. It's amazing, and it had a huge impact on me. Partly because of when you see that growth. That's what it. I think I know that was part of it. To listen to that and then listen to that and seeing how much the band had matured over the course of those 2 EPs. But it's brilliant. I remember, I'm pretty sure I gave it 10 out of 10 when I listened to it. It's really, really clever. It's really well put together. I've written down that it's basically just captivating, completely faultless.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah, stunned. I loved it. I still listen to it regularly. I still love it.
There you go. There's Brendan's number one, Earthbound's Desolate. Great. I didn't say anything, but yeah, it is a great fucking EP. It's not my number one, but there you go. My number one, once I say certain words, I think you're going to flip the table over. Number one, it is by Plague of Carcosa. And it is Ocean is More Ancient Than the Mountains by Sludge Lord Records. It was released on July 19th. And it's Doom. But it's an EP of Lovecraftian-inspired Doom. And it's only 2 tracks long. But honestly, I don't think I've heard a release...
How long are the tracks?
Oh, God,
they're like that. They're not short songs.
No. But I think... And this is actually going to go all over. I think there's no release I've heard this year that captures exactly what it says it was inspired by. Like, you listen to this and you are transported into the world of Lovecraft, the Cthulhu Sunken City. It exemplifies that in such a way that mind-blowing. Like, it's terrifying to listen to in that sense, that you think it's going to haunt your fucking waking nightmares, that kind of thing. They nail that, and musically, it's so fucking good. It's Doom, and that obviously brings with it a certain level of heaviness, but it's not exemplified by, it's just heavy all the way through. It couldn't be. To be an expansive song and you want to tell a tale, you have to have more than that, and that's what Plague of Carcosa do. It is a fucking sublime release, and it's my best EP of 2019.
There we go.
There you go. There's a
quite different.
Yeah, really different. I think, what did we double up? Grief Ritual.
Necronomic Christ.
Christ.
Ashen Horde.
Ashen Horde, that was it.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah. And I'm gutted I left Master's Call off that. I don't know what I'd have had to push out for it.
What number? Go on. Give it an honorary number.
Number 2, probably.
There you go, yeah.
Number 2, because I love that EP, Master's Call. I'd probably put it as second best. Massive fan of them. But yeah, they're everyone. Honestly, there were so many other great ones that I missed off. The likes Brennan mentioned, Democratic Damnation would have been number 11. Grant the Sun, Flame Dear Flame, 6 Hours to Kill. Drop Oblivion was number 15 in my bigger expanded list. So there are so many great releases. But that's it. We can only do 10. This video will go on for hours. Already on for 20 odd minutes. There you go. Let us know what your 10 EPs are in the comments section. Tell us if you disagree or agree with us. Hit that like and subscribe button while you're at it. Check us out on social media. All the usual places. The site GBHBL.com, and help us out on Patreon and Big Hotel. Thank you for watching.